It's usually not, bro.
Right, yeah. But I'm going to point out, because I know you didn't notice, when we see Elnor and Seven, just in the background, the music, it brings the Voyager theme song back. And it's like, oh. So the music still is in.
Wait a second.
Yes,
you're confusing me as much as the episode.
What?
So you didn't like TNG, but you like Voyager being shoved in here?
No, they're using the music a little bit more. Remember, what was it, the third or the second episode, and I was complaining too much TNG? But now they are judicious with their choices and when to use the music.
Cool.
And
I
I'm
definitely
pointing
didn't
that
notice
out.
Voyager.
I did, and so I'm pointing it out. I think that the music choice is very spot on. They're doing a much better job as the season goes on.
Also, if I never hear another random throwaway Locutus in my life, it'll be too soon.
I appreciated it, and I still think it's important because when we think about, because I was there when Patrick Stewart, stop shaking your head.
No.
I was there when Patrick Stewart came out to STLV and says, we're having a Picard series. And the reasons that he said, one of them was that, you know, a lot of things have happened to Picard, and it's not, they have had effects that we haven't seen until now. And obviously, best of both worlds, him being turned to Locutus is a very strong touching point. So in my mind, every time Locutus is mentioned, and notice he took a couple steps back because that is so tormenting his soul still after all this time. It's not to be taken lighthearted. It's not to be, oh, it's just another fan service. This is serious issues that Picard still has not gotten over. And the Borg don't know him as anything else. They see him and they recognize him as Locutus. So to me, it's very important. And if we hear it, hear it a million other times, I am fine with it because there is that trauma that is there.
I got a problem with it because the Borg Queen used his name Picard in the movie, so therefore they should know the name by now.
I'm sure they recognize the name, but they are going to call him Locutus.
Ugh. I'm done. I can't with this. Do something with that line other than him rearing back, please. It's like the 5th time this season now.
Yeah.
We only have 10 episodes.
Well, I like it. I think,
and we just walk away from the cube afterwards anyway.
Yeah. Well,
we literally
the whole thing.
All we needed was them to walk up and go, "It's broken now," and walk away, and it would have been exactly the same as what we got.
Yeah. So let's talk about those lovely flowers.
Ugh.
I literally in my notes wrote. Okay, so they were in this space battle with Nerek's ship, and they were, zooming around, fighting, getting everywhere, left turn, up, right, forwards, backwards. And then we see these orchids, and what? Their navigation just stopped. They literally, the flower was so slow motion and enveloped. They allowed the ship to be enveloped by these flowers. That was just terrible because they should have, if they wanted us to believe that the ship couldn't get away to be enveloped, they should have had like a little stem. What's that flower part?
Yeah, something shoot out of the stupid thing. Shoot out
that would, paralyze the ship, take away the power. But the power wasn't even taken away until the flower closed on itself. So it's like they should have gotten away. And they had just seconds before they were shooting in and out and having this amazing fight scene with Nerek's ship. So that was a huge waste.
You know how you really fix that? Just have Narek shoot them so they can't fly. And then the bogies show up. I mean, it's a really easy fix. If they both disable themselves, right? Oh, well, we shot Narek and he's floating off into space and he's in distress. And then he's able to turn the reflectors inside out, which, oh, wow, okay, you can do that? Why haven't we been doing that for decades? But he can use them to shoot while he powers up his disruptor cannons. He disables them with that. They're both floating aimlessly in space. Boom, you have your problem solved. Instead, they just sat there and waited.
Right. Yes. That was...
It's like the scene from Austin Powers with the roller coming. No!
Okay, I have no idea what that reference
Never
was.
watched Austin Powers?
No.
Okay, well, it's a horrible movie, so don't. But
Okay.
there's a scene with, like when they pave the streets, the big rollers? In real life, if they pave...
Oh,
roads,
yeah.
Okay, that's coming, but it's a whole way away. And instead of moving, the guy just stands there and goes, no!
Got it. Yes.
And that's what this was.
Yeah. But in that flight pattern, or the escape, the fight with Narek's spaceship, I liked the battle that they had. I don't know if you call it a battle, but
Skirmish?
Yes, the skirmish. And when they are what they think behind Narek's ship, firing on him, and then they think that his cloaking is being disabled, and oh yeah, he's cloaking. No, that was him using the cloak as a projection to be in front of him, so that La Serena was thinking that he was in front of him, when actuality Narek was behind him, and then he starts shooting. Now, what that is a reference to TNG, the Picard maneuver, where Picard uses the warp so it looks like he's in two different spaces, which is in the battle, TNG, the battle. So I thought that was a nice, fun callback.
Yeah, I guess. I didn't catch it. I mean, I didn't make the correlation at the time.
Yeah, but that's fun little callback.
Yeah, that's a little bit of cool trivia. They're making a callback. They did fan service all wrong in this episode. That's not one of them.
Well, that's one of them. That's a good fan service. Can
No,
I do another?
that's not one of the bad ones. I mean,
oh yeah. Can I give you another one, maybe?
Sure.
Okay. So when they crash down, and the funny little thing between Raffi, and she's like calling it homicidal fungus.
Yes.
And that was a reference to the original series, Conscience of a King, where the fungus destroys the food and Governor Kodos kills half the population. Again, sort of, and I'm stretching here, I totally know, but like that fungus and homicidal fungus.
Right. Well, that and Discovery, by the way.
Yes, with the mycelial network. Spores, yeah. So that we could have that as a callback too.
So that's what I thought of first, was the spores.
Oh, yeah.
Because,
I think
they're so
that's
closely related.
Fan service done right.
Yeah. Soon
Those
was
two.
fan service done wrong. The Borg cube showing up and this whole thing happening was fan service done wrong.
I do have to agree with you on Soon. I was not happy. And this is coming from a TNG lover.
I said it last week. I didn't want to see Soon again. I'm so sick of his family all looking like him. I get it. I love the actor. Don't get me wrong. But I don't know. Look, here's the problem. Here's the big problem with it. It's not so much that it's just fan service done wrong. Because my wife watching is like, that's Data. Why is he there? Now, we understand that's because his whole family looks like him, but she didn't watch enough to know that. So to her, it's just some creepy old man who does stupid things and seems a little insane and looks like a character she used to like.
Yeah. And I saw on social media, it's like, do the women have no genes in their family? Because there's no variation between, way back to Enterprise, right? How many generations ago was that Soon? And then we have Data Noonien Soon, and then we have Data, and now we have Alton Soon. They are exactly the same. Like, the female have no genetics in this family. I don't know how that happens. So
no, because they're all clones.
It's ridiculous. Yeah, it's something that we just have to accept.
Look past.
Yeah.
Look, I'm glad he got a paycheck. I mean, don't get me wrong, but couldn't we have just had him in a flashback like I had hoped?
Yeah, like we did at the first couple of episodes. I was fine with him as a flashback. Absolutely.
Yes, as another family member.
Yeah, I can suspend disbelief that Data is looking older, but still playing Data. Like, I can totally suspend my belief on that.
Correct.
Because it's Data. He's playing Data. Of course, the actor, Brent Spinner, is going to age. And one thing that I did like, only because I've seen Brent Spinner at so many conventions, and everyone ever since Nemesis, asked Brent Spinner, are you going to come back as Data? Are you going to come back? And every single time Brent Spinner answers, no, I'm not going to come back because I'm old and I've gone soft. And then for him to use that in the episode, I thought was brilliant. But again, you wouldn't know that if you hadn't seen Brent Spinner answering the same question over and over again.
Correct. You have to be an Ultra fan to kind of get some of that.
Yeah.
And that's the problem.
Right.
That's fan service done wrong. You shouldn't have to be an Ultra. Like, the line shouldn't confuse my wife. It should just kind of be there.
Right. Yeah.
But it wasn't, because she's like, but he's Data, but he's not. And I'm like, well, you see, his dad was this guy, who was this guy, who was that guy. And if you go all the way back to TNG, and then you go even farther back to Enterprise, his family members were, and they all looked exactly the same. Well, they were all played by the same guy, so they all looked. Yes, it's just awful they put this in. I'm sorry, hon.
Yeah.
He also said his name differently this time.
Alton Soon?
He didn't. I could have swore he pronounced it differently than Soon.
Yeah, Alton Inigo Soon.
Yeah, I got to listen back, because I remember hearing it the first time going, that wasn't right. He should know his own name in this.
Yeah, maybe it was that middle name that threw you off.
It might have been, because the rest of them said it right, but it sounded like he said more like Sung than Soon. And I'm like, that's not right.
Yeah. So, one thing that I really did like, that again I think brings out the theme, another theme that I found in this episode of, and it happened twice, and I think this was the director's choice to include this, was at both times when they are embarking on a new situation, we have this pan between our characters. So the very first scene, when they're traveling through the conduit and they show each, not all, 4 of the main characters' actions. So we've got Girardi, she's freaking out, be over, be over. And then it goes to Picard. And for me, when I saw Picard's face, it was like he was almost nostalgic, like, oh, this is the adventure, I'm living it again. They went to Rios, who was like totally navigating with confidence, sitting in his captain's chair with his arm out, you know, feeling very confident. And then it goes to Soji's face, and it was just, she looked so hopeful and like, oh, we're going to my home world. This is so exciting. She had so much hope in her life. And that's when they were coming out of the conduit. They did the exact same thing after they landed, and after they visited the Borg cube, they were coming and approaching Coppelius, and they did the span of their faces, and it just was the same thing. Girardi wasn't as scared, but that look on Soji's face where it was so hopeful, it's like, I'm going to meet my family. I'm going back home. And I just thought that embarking on a new experience, a new adventure of what's to come, especially in Soji's face both times, was a very nice touch that I think really led to the building of the characters and how we know them in this episode.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it too. I call that the hero walk. Like, after the hero wins, the whole team, like, you know, the X-Men or Justice League or whatever, they'll do that walk away, and that's kind of what that was at the end there. So I enjoyed that too. I actually had a point while you were talking, and I forgot it now. But I do like that they did the 2 versions of it instead of just the one. And we haven't seen it before, which is interesting. One thing we did see in this episode that I didn't think they did as well as other times was the cut back and forth, which is where I thought you were going at first, where they cut back and forth between 2 conversations. And the one conversation was with Narek, and the other conversation was Soji and Picard. Soji trying to rationalize whether to murder or kill Narek or not, and Narek being told he would be let go. Which is the only reason why I think maybe he did actually kill her, because she said, how badly do you want to get out of here? So maybe she couldn't do it herself, but she got him to do it to get out. I don't know.
So I sort of, unfortunately, went to more of a sexual innuendo there.
I did at first, but then we see the dead person and him leaving, but she's still there.
Yeah, Sutra is